The sun once went around the earth, according to the Holy Church, which helped to reassure people that they were the center of the universe. One day His Holiness the Pope met a man with a telescope and said, "Hey, Mr. Galilei, what does your spyglass say?" And the scientist spoke. He said, "It's really quite amazing, entirely life-changing. So let me ask before I show you, do you really want to know? Oh, do you really want to know? Oh, Emma read the Bible for direction. She said she was a child of heaven, and that the human race came from a higher place, from the angels descended. She wound up marrying her cousin. He was a thinker of a husband, lost and thought she'd find him. Say, "Charlie, what you writing?" Darwin looked up and said, "It's really quite amazing, entirely life-changing. So let me ask before I show you, do you really want to know? Oh, do you really want to know? Oh, do you really want to let knowledge like a breeze in through the door of your belief, flow through the rooms and the corridors, knock cherished heirlooms to the floor. That wind can raise the roof sometimes and leave you blinking at the sky. So if you stare into this glass, beware that there's no going back. You say sunrise, but it will refuse. Instead, the earth itself will move and spin you round from dawn to dawn into the wonder of it all. Oh, 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 do you really want to know?
I'm afraid of my shadow, some people would say. I'm afraid of the weather, a lightning bolt could stray. I'm afraid of what could be and what might have been. A clever woman wouldn't let those feelings come in. I'm afraid, you're afraid, nothing at all. I'm afraid, you're afraid inside. Even talking about it, my stomach churns. Fascination with fire, it doesn't mean you won't get burned. I shine a light on my short suit, shadows come into play. A free Trojan horse with every hope I give away. Lose your grip, let her rip, and that old nightmare of falling. The fright is worse than the fall turns out to be. Stepping off into nothing's the first step of flying. No denying, you gotta leap to see. Where's that fear come from, my little one? Could it be my own heartbeat pounding in my throat? The simple matter before me has me worried I might choke. Gotta find a solution. Let my inner child chill. Conjure up an inner parent to get up that hill. Lose your grip, let her rip, and that old nightmare of falling. The fright is worse than the fall turns out to be. Stepping off into nothing's the first step of flying. No denying, you gotta leap to see. I'm afraid, you're afraid of nothing at all. I'm afraid, you're afraid inside. Lose your grip, let her rip, and that old nightmare of falling. The fright is worse than the fall turns out to be. Stepping off into nothing's the first step of flying. No denying, you'll have to leap to see.
Good morning. Welcome to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Susan Caldwell. I'm the Director of Religious Education here. Our minister is the Reverend Barbara Jarrell. She is currently away on vacation and study leave and winning songwriting contests. So if y'all haven't heard her results from the Kerrville Folk Festival, we're still pretty excited about that. And she will be back in the pulpit the first Sunday in July. Whatever your age, race, nationality, sexual orientation, gender identity, theological stance, whatever wonderful elements make up the complex being that is you, if you care to worship with us, you are welcome. In this congregation, we're united not by a uniform set of beliefs, but by a covenant, and that is the sacred promises we make to each other for the way we'll be together in community. A lot of our announcements played on the slides. If you didn't get a chance to see them all and there was something you missed, they'll be on the recording on our Facebook page, which is a public page. So even if you're not on Facebook, even if you hate Facebook, you can get to it and see what you want to see. I want to thank the folks that came to Building and Grounds yesterday. That was Deborah, who's also running sound for us upstairs, Tina Hines, who's running the computer for us down here, Eric First, who runs Building and Grounds wherever he is, Marianne Cummings, who is here, and I showed up late and ran a vacuum cleaner, but at any rate, I want to thank y'all. I also want to thank everyone who came to the Caddo Commission meeting on Thursday. The Community Lighthouse is a go. Yeah. It's finally not Groundhog Day when I get up here and say, well, this week we're going to the commission. So they did grant the $500,000 seed money for the 2 pilot locations for these grid resilience hubs that will save lives. They will save lives because power outages are the leading cause of death after natural disasters. It's not the wind, it's not the rain, it's not the ice, it's power outages. So we're going to try and provide some sustainable solar-powered relief for that. We are delighted this morning to welcome back to our pulpit the Reverend Joy Walker. Joy is retired from 20 years as a minister in the Unity tradition. She has served Unity congregations in Texas, Oklahoma, and here in Louisiana, where she was the minister of Unity of Shreveport. And I see some either present or former Unity folks that are here today, and we welcome you. We're glad to see you. Before that, she spent 30 years in higher education, mostly at the administrative level. She has 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and 8 great-grandchildren, and doesn't look like any of this is possible. But at any rate, we will get to hear from her a little bit later, and we thank you, Joy. We're delighted that you've been hanging out with us lately. I'm going to bring up our board person of the day, Ernie Cowger, to highlight just a few announcements.
First off, we're glad you're here. We're all here together, and have a few announcements. One is Deborah Warren is our Volunteer of the Month, and she's on the board. And then we have the Highland Blessing Dinner. We need volunteers. It's the first Thursday of every month, and we host that dinner at the church. So if you could come and volunteer and help with serving or hosting a table. And then we have the Philadelphia Center, which is the AIDS, HIV Resource Center in Northwest Louisiana, is our give away the plate for June. And want to remind you of making a pledge if you haven't. And we also need donations for the Louisiana Advocates for Immigrants in Detention. And they can be dropped off at the Highland Center too. Thank you for being here.
And the donations to Louisiana Aid needs are basically men's clothing right now. Just whatever men's clothing, all sizes, they can use that. If you will now, relax into the pew, take a couple of deep breaths. After the chime, we'll sing together, "Come, Come, Whoever You Are," and the words will be on the screen. Whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. One more time. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are welcome here. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, your skin, you are welcome here. No matter how you came here, if you came alone or with others, you are welcome here. No matter whom you love or how you speak or whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears in your eyes, you are welcome here. If you come here with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands, then you are indeed welcome here. I would love some help to lead the children's chalice lighting. And this can be child help or grown-up help. I'm not picky. Thank you, Natalie and Pam. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together, with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other. Light. And as we light our chalice, we hear these words of Deborah Burrell. Fire consumes and casts a bright light. You can blow it out, it's okay, just hold your hand in front of it. Yeah, that's good. Very good. Thank you. Fire consumes and casts a bright light. May our chalice flame consume our regrets for the past, our fears about the future, and our worries about today. May it light for us a path of joy and peace. If you'll join me as you are willing in the unison affirmation, you may rise in body or spirit, and the words will be on the screen or in the printed order. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. Our opening hymn is Love Will Guide Us, and I have asked members of the choir to help me out in leading it.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us, will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us, will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
So, Reverend Joy is going to talk to the grown-ups and whoever is staying in the sanctuary about being careful not to focus on the obvious. And so I thought this was a good time to kind of bring up, I call these what in the world pictures, and that comes from, my kids used to get that National Geographic magazine for children. And there was a section in there called What in the World? And it shows you a different view of different kind of ordinary things. And you think about it and see if you can guess what they are. So our first picture is actually down in the corner here. Anybody have any ideas what that might be? What? A sidewalk? Yeah, I think that definitely is part of the picture. What do you see on the sidewalk? I heard it, a shadow. Yeah, Natalie.
A shadow of a tree.
Shadow of a tree. I think you might be right. Let's go to the next picture. Big tree. Oh, willow tree. Good job, y'all. All right, let's go to the next one. What do you think this is? What is it, Nat?
Mud grass. I know you ready. It's like mud
Mud on a dry sidewalk. And you definitely got the mud part, for sure. Let's take a look. So it's a mud puddle with some kids kind of playing in it, yeah. So let's try the next one. What is that? Yes. Reflection of a car. That's an interesting. Yeah, I can kind of see. Yeah. Anybody else got a guess? Yeah, Natalie. A part of an aquarium? Yeah, it's got that blue kind of watery look to it, doesn't it? Yeah, I can see that we're going to guess like that too. Anybody else want to guess? A piece of cloth, and then it said an umbrella. So Bob is actually getting closer. Piece of cloth. Yeah, it's a dancer. Cool, huh? All right, I think we could go one more, two more. I honestly can't remember. Oh, what is this? Guitar. Somebody got it right away. Musician. Oh, yeah. It's Flash playing guitar. Good job. Oh, there is one more. What is it, Natalie? A painting of a sunset. It does look like that. Did y'all see the sunset last night? Oh my goodness, that was amazing. And it does, you're right that it does look like a sunset. It's not changed it just yet. Anybody else? Coffee? Yeah, it does kind of look like that, doesn't it? Yeah, that's another good guess. I can see that. Anybody else? You ready? Let's see. Right. So it was the inside of the seashell. It is a pretty seashell, isn't it? I love that. It's fine. I like that. So, yeah, Robert. Hermit crab? Yeah, it could be. Could be a hermit crab's house. That's right. So, what do you think the lesson here is?
Things are not always what they seem.
Things are not always what they seem, and it's always, and we may not have the whole view, right? So it's important not to focus on the obvious, right? But to try and see the bigger picture, and to imagine the bigger picture. And I love the way y'all imagine, because you came up with some good answers. All right, we are going to sing the children and youth out to their tie-dye activity. That's our annual tie-dye day. So have fun, y'all. And any adults that would like to stay after and do a shirt, we have plenty of shirts. So you're welcome to grab one. We'll take a donation, but it's not, it's not required. And you're welcome to stay. And if you have never tie-dyed, learn how. And or if you just enjoy that, please do. So let's sing them out. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may. Oh, and I want to thank Kathy Osich and Ash McLean today and Noah Wagstaff for helping out today with that. As we enter a spirit of meditation, we consider the words of Marcel Proust, who wrote, "The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new lands, but in seeing with new eyes. A pair of wings, a different respiratory system which enabled us to travel through space would in no way help us, for if we visited Mars or Venus while keeping the same senses, they would clothe everything we could see in the same aspect as the things of Earth. The only true voyage, the only bath in the fountain of youth, would not be to visit strange lands, but to possess other eyes, to see the universe through the eyes of another, of 100 others, to see the 100 universes that each of them sees and that each of them is. And so may we remember to look with new eyes, to listen with new ears, to test our old assumptions, to find the new in the familiar and the familiar in the stranger, to see the 100 universes that others see, that others are, that we are. Let us carry this vision with us into the silence.
Ever wonder where war began? How it all came about in the first place? Ever wonder if you'll live to see it end? You are there when stars are being born, and you get to see oceans forming, mountains rising, first wings on the wind. Which way did the wind blow then? Can you feel it? History repeating, or can we stop this show? I don't know. I don't know.
the raindrops separate a puddle into components? Is rain rain if it never hits the ground? With the beating down of rays from the sun, touching even the most private person, marking a rhythm written out of time. Your life is a part of mine, and still there's more here than we can imagine. More than meets our minds. Ever wonder where you'll go after this? Ever wonder if perpetual motion has its origins in something serene and fine? Serene and fine. We know now, we know then. We can see it all as time falls open.
Please welcome Reverend Joy Walker.
Good morning. And thank you for your loving energy. If you would indulge me just for a moment, I would like to recognize some friends. I noticed that we have friends from Benton, Louisiana. My daughter is from Bossier City. She comes sometimes. And all the way from Marshall, Texas, another friend. Thank you so much. So happy that you're here to honor me and to support me. On the screen, you will see a very familiar image. Most of us saw this image for the first time in our psychology or sociology or philosophy class. It's very familiar. And if you focus in one direction, you will see a young woman with a feather in her hair and a beautiful veil flowing back over her head. If you focus in another direction, you will see an old woman with a head slightly bowed and a scarf over her head. It really depends on your focus. So I chose this image today because I want to talk to you a little bit about focusing. Focusing. I believe that focusing is very important. So I've entitled my talk today, Focusing on the Obvious. Focusing on the obvious. A story is told of a woman who crossed the Mexican border every day on a motor scooter with a sack of sand behind her in a red bag. Every day she would cross the border. Every day. And after a while, the custom officials became very suspicious of the lady. And one day they asked her, "What do you have in that red bag?" The lady replied, "Just sand." The officer didn't really believe her, so they took the red bag and emptied it. And sure enough, it only contained sand. So this went on for about a month. Every day, the lady would cross the border with a sack of sand behind her in a red bag. Happened about a month or so. After a while, one officer pulled her aside and said, "Listen, lady, I won't arrest you. I won't say anything to the police. But just tell me, what are you smuggling?" With a smile on her face, the lady said, "Scooters." Focusing on the obvious. Focusing on the obvious. Are you guilty of focusing on the obvious? Most of us get so caught up with information fed to us by our eyes, nose, ears, mouth, hands, that sometimes we miss a very promising blessing. I recall as a child, my mother would send me into another room to pick up something, to get an object, maybe like the scissors. I would go into the other room, look all over and not see them. My mother would get up from her seat, go in the room, pick the scissors up off the table, and say something to me like your mother probably said to you. If it hadn't been a snake, it would have bit you. Focusing on the obvious. Focusing on the obvious. Another story is told of a man who lived out in the country with his 7 children. His wife died at the birth of the last child. One beautiful fall day, the 6 older children decided to go to the fair with their friends and left the man on the farm with the baby. The man was there enjoying the afternoon with the child. But after a while, he remembered that he had a few things he needed to pick up in town. So he called his trusted Rottweiler dog. The man talked to the dog as if he was talking to a trusted friend. He said, "I've got to go into town for a few things, but I'll be back shortly. Now I want you to stay here and take care of the baby. I know you'll do a good job. I trust that you will not let any harm come to the baby." The dog looked at the man as if he understood, and the man left for town. Seconds turned to minutes, and minutes turned to hours, but soon the man returned home from town. As he came into seeing distance of the house, the man felt a little uneasiness, an eerie feeling that something had occurred, just seemed to permeate the air. The man entered the yard and walked up on the porch. He saw blood on the steps that led into the yard. He quickly ran into the house and found the baby's room in disarray. And there was no sign of the baby. The man ran out of the house, sat on the steps, crying, sobbing, and yelling, "I should have known better. I should have known better. He's only a dog. Why did I trust him? It's all my fault. I should have known better." The man ran around the house looking for the dog, and there he found him, the Rottweiler, lying by the house with blood on his teeth and paw. He took one look at the dog and said, "How could you? I trusted you, but it's all my fault. The man ran back in the house and got his shotgun, aimed it at the dog, and shot him. The dog looked at his master with a quizzical look as if he wanted to explain. But the man fired again and killed the dog. The man walked back to the porch and continued to weep and moan. It's all my fault. What was I thinking? I should have known better. Then suddenly, a faint cry of a baby was heard coming from inside the house. The man jumped up and ran into the house, following the noise. He knelt down on the floor and looked under the bed, and there he found the unharmed baby. Apparently, the bassinet had turned over, and the baby had crawled under the bed and gone to sleep. The man picked up the baby with tears running down his face and joy in his heart. He held the baby close in gratitude. He rocked the baby in his arms. He hugged the baby. He kissed the baby. He was so grateful that the baby had been spared. And then he remembered the dog. He took another look at the blood on the porch and the steps. And this time he decided to follow the trail of blood, which took him out to the edge of the yard. And there he found a bloody, dead wolf. The hungry wolf had come down out of the hills seeking food, but this faithful dog had saved the baby from the hungry wolf. Focusing on the obvious. Focusing on the obvious. These are simple stories, but they make the point. Sometimes we get so caught up focusing on the obvious that we miss our blessing. You and I must learn to expand our vision. We must see beyond perception. So today, I would like to invite each of us to consider 2 ideas for expanding our vision and increasing effectiveness in all areas of our life. The first idea is to stop looking in the rear view mirror. We waste so much time and energy looking back, going over and over again on memories from the past. We repeat word for word conversations that we've had with individuals a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. We appear to get some masochistic enjoyment out of kicking ourselves for making inappropriate choices and decisions. I suggest that we stop it. When we look back, we're only racing our engines and spinning our wheels and getting nowhere. You may recall from the Old Testament in the Bible, the story of Lot's wife. She looked back and turned to a pillar of salt. Metaphysically, she became crystallized in her thinking. One day, I overheard someone here at this church say, "What happened to our old congregation when the pews were filled every Sunday?" And I thought to myself, the operative word here is old. Old. We do not wish to become crystallized in our thinking. It's time to focus anew to begin looking forward to what's to come. Every car has a rearview mirror. It's a very handy and necessary piece of equipment. But what would happen if we drove down the freeway looking only in the rearview mirror? I'm not saying never to look back. We can glance back every once in a while, but we must place our focus on the road in front of us, focusing ahead with the knowingness that the best is yet to come. The second idea is lift our vision. Just as you and I would not fill our closet with clothes that no longer fit, we must not fill our life with beliefs and ideas that no longer reflect who we are or who we are becoming. You and I must regularly release the old and create space in our closet of life for the new things to enter. You and I must remain open to possibilities and welcome new opportunities for keeping us in the flow of life. Do you have a vision? Think about it. What are your desires, your hopes, your dreams? I'm told that if we have no hope for tomorrow, we will remain stuck in yesterday. If we do not have anything to look forward to, we tend to grow backwards. I believe that we either grow or we get left behind. I once read that mother bears usually have twin cubs. The mother takes care of her cubs very well. She does this for about 2 years. She teaches them to climb. She teaches them to fish. Then, when the cubs are about 2 years old, the mother tells one twin to climb one tree and the second twin to scale another tree. She instructs her young to remain there, and then she leaves, never to return. Now, the cubs stay in the tree all day, then all night. They stay until the next morning and then the next night. But by the third day, the cubs get really hungry. So they climb down from their tree and enter life on their own. Some of us have been stuck in our current life situation, unable to move beyond disappointment, unable to move beyond feelings of being victimized, are unable to move beyond abandonment until we climb down out of the tree and recognize that we have not yet begun to explore the forests of life. We will remain stuck in the tree. As we lift our vision, we can align our thinking with a grandeur plan, a heightened state of living, a state in which we can reside in a field of amplified well-being. Imagine, just for a moment, that you sent your 18-year-old daughter off to college. She's been gone for about 3 months, and now you get this letter. Dear Mom and Dad, I'm sorry I haven't written lately, but all of my things were destroyed in the dorm fire. My eyes are almost completely healed now, and the doctor assures me that there will be no permanent damage from the smoke. While the dorm is being rebuilt, I moved in with my boyfriend. I think you met Roy when you were here for Parents Weekend. I know how much you've always wanted grandchildren. So you'll be happy to know that I'm expecting a baby at the end of next summer. Then the letter goes on. Please excuse this exercise in English composition. There was no dorm fire. My eyes are not damaged. I'm not living with my boyfriend. I am not pregnant. However, I did receive a D in English and an F in French. And I wanted to be sure you got this information in the proper perspective. How would you feel if you were the parent after reading that first part of the letter? Wouldn't your anxiety level have risen about 2 octaves? And then you read on and breathe a sigh of relief, thinking, sweetheart, is that all? We can handle that. Focusing on the obvious. Focusing on the obvious. I often use the equation E plus aura equals O. The event plus our response to the event equals the outcome. You see, our perspective determines the opportunities we see and the choices we make. Our perspective determines how we experience the outcome. From this day forward, I suggest that we stop focusing on the obvious. You and I sometimes focus more on our cell phones than we do on the faces and feelings of actual people. I suggest that we practice deep listening, deep observation with an open mind, an open heart, and non-judgment as we begin focusing toward greater vision with clarity and joy and gratitude. Namaste.
You may rise in body or spirit. Want to say thanks again to Reverend Joy. It is a joy to have you here, and we thank you for that, and thanks to the members of the choir for helping out today. As we go, we listen to the words of Krista Tippett. Many of you are probably familiar with her. Taking in the good, whenever and wherever we find it, gives us new eyes for seeing and for living. Stop focusing on the obvious. And go in peace and stay, if you will, and do some tie-dye with us. Thank you so much.
Here in reverence now we gather for the blessings we have known, with a pledge to one another that we journey not alone. Joy and sorrow make us one, into all that lives and dies. Love calls us on. Love calls us on. Words and deeds of those before us, wake and dare to keep us on. With our voices in the chorus of creation's every song, our riches lift our eyes onward to the shining skies. Hope calls us on. Hope calls us on. Hope calls us on. Loyal guides to love and duty. Loyal guides with the trust to lead us. Blessed are they whose inward beauty, blessed are they who path of truth shown us. The path is their earthly honor is their work to be lost. Faith calls us on. Faith calls us on. Faith calls us on. Faith calls us on. We have shared a radiant hour. We have shared truth that made us freedom, and true the Spirit's gracious power. Spirit of grace that cannot be with us, for the right path before us. Ever bright is the path we rise. Life calls us on. Life calls us on. Life calls us on. Life calls us yes. Life calls us on. Life calls us yes. Life calls us on. Life calls us yes. Life calls us on. Life calls us on.